It's very essential for any developer to become an admin first, and not just the basic understanding. You should go through the whole learning process, including the admin certification.
Hello, Farah. Thanks. What is actually your favorite food?
I like Chinese food a lot, like noodles, shrimps, this kind of kung pao chicken.
Yeah, and I like Arabic food. I like falafel and hummus, and I like all the vegetables and the salad.
Although I come from an Arabic background, I don't very much like falafel, but I certainly like hummus.
What we both like is Salesforce. This is why we came together.
Yeah, this is very common. Yeah.
And I know that you are a developer, pretty good developers, who is hopefully excited to get your hands on Salesforce functions soon when they come.
Yes, of course.
I don't know how well you are with Node.js and server-side JavaScript.
uh, Average.
Nice. You're all set up for Salesforce function. I'm excited for the new platform event bus because I'm such a fan of platform events.
Okay.
And
That's awesome.
but the limits always have been annoying. But what we talked about, we both are admins as well,
Of course.
of course.
Yeah.
And why we came together today is I wanted to ask you why you think a developer should actually learn to be an admin.
Yes, it's a very important topic. Yeah. Actually, it's very essential for any developer to become an admin first, and not just the basic understanding. You should go through the whole learning process, including the admin certification. I actually learned this the hard way. It's because when I graduated and got my bachelor's degree in computer engineering, I wanted to be a developer. So when I first heard about Salesforce and the roles available, I immediately chose the developer role, of course. And back then, I didn't know that I should be an admin first. And why does being an admin first is so important? I learned that later in my day-to-day job as a Salesforce developer. In my job, I write a lot of code, but I also make a lot of decisions, meaning that when I get a requirement from users, I have to think before writing code. I have to decide what's the best approach to solve this requirement or to make a solution. Can it be done declaratively using flows or process builder or workflow, or is there an app exchange application that could do the same functionality for this? And after doing this research, if it can be done declaratively, then I should choose the declarative approach. If not, then I will have to create a totally custom solution for this requirement. And I think this is a huge decision, because if something can be done declaratively, then you should do it declaratively without writing code. Because why would you? I mean, why would you write blocks of code when you could do the same thing by dragging and dropping components in a flow, right? So you could just download an app from App Exchange that would perform this functionality. So doing it declaratively also saves a lot of time, and you can easily go back to your solution and customize it, which is much flexible than code. With code you have to write Apex tests and all, so it saves a lot of time with deployment as well. So it's actually best practice if you do so. So that's why it's important to be an admin. So back then, before becoming a full-time Salesforce developer, I knew how to write code, but things like process builder and flow and workflows and approvals, I did not understand that back then. And I can tell you, it got in the way of me landing my first full-time job as a Salesforce developer. I remember being interviewed for a lot of Salesforce developer jobs, and in the first interview I got, I was given a business need, and I was told to solve it using flows. And by the way, this was the very first technical question, so they were supposedly warming up, you know. So it was something very simple, but I couldn't do it. So this got me thinking that I should be an admin first. And actually, most of the current Salesforce developer jobs in the market, they're kind of the mix between developer and admin. You know, it's not just being a developer right now. It's being both. If you're a developer, then you have to be both. If you're an admin, then you're just an admin. But
I
the
disagree. Admins become more and more developers, especially with the new flows. They are technically developers. They don't know
well,
it yet.
yeah. Also with formulas, writing formulas, I think it's very similar to coding. So admins can understand code,
Many admins I know can read code.
can read code. Yeah. Sometimes they can. With flows, it's become
Yes.
it's very easy to understand code. Yeah. So yeah, they don't just need you to be a developer; they need you to understand the platform. And recognize when something could be automated to save time and to save resources. Okay, because solutions that are out of the box are best practice. So you don't have to build something from scratch all the time.
This is a very good point. So for you, you would say it helps you not only in your day-to-day job, but it actually helps you in job interviews.
Of course, yeah. You are being asked about flows, you are being asked about process builder limits, you are being asked about everything when you're a developer.
I can
So
say from a personal experience, I would not hire a senior developer who is not a good admin as well.
of course, yeah.
You can't just be a developer anymore times, especially when you are senior. Maybe a junior can start out as a developer.
Mhm.
Debugging. If you don't know
Uh,
administration, it's almost impossible to debug your code.
of course, yeah. Yeah, how do you know when you can? Yeah, sometimes I open, I want to create a record in an object and I cannot see the fields. If I'm not an admin, then I would not know that this is field security, you know? I have to be an admin to know that.
Yeah.
So it's essential to be an admin.
So when should you actually become an admin as a developer?
Yeah, it's the very first thing you do. It's before becoming a developer, you should be an admin. You should understand the platform, the object relationships, the data model for the standard objects like lead, account, codes, assets, and what are the types of relationships available with Salesforce, the automation tools available, how you can use them, how you can utilize them to make a solution, when to use each of them, and the analytics side of Salesforce with reports and dashboards. And the most important thing is security, in my perspective. So this all comes before development on the Salesforce platform. So maybe with other, platforms, you can be just a developer, but with Salesforce, you have to be an admin first before becoming a developer.
Where I see the weakest point with developers is, like you say, the standard objects, but also sharing and visibility.
Yeah, it's
And I think since more and more code moves towards with sharing as a best practice, if you don't
yes.
have your sharing under control, your code will just not work.
Actually, I had a huge problem understanding the different tools that you could use with security. And in my first try for the admin exam, I failed because of security. I scored 50% only. So I think it was overwhelming. It was a lot of things. It was org defaults, sharing rules, role hierarchies, profiles, and permission sets. Yeah, it was tricky for me to understand, but once I studied for the sharing and visibility as well exam, it becomes easier. So it's like admin 2.0, and also one thing that makes it easier is when you try to make a story out of things. Like the first story we have heard on Salesforce, that there is a lead, that the lead is interested to do business with your company, and then this lead might become an account and then opportunity. So try to make a story out of things, and this is what I see is special with Trailhead. They don't just tell you the information. They try to make a story out of things.
I can follow up there. I am a CTA coach, and what I teach almost all of my students, what they have to practice is tell a story. Your code should tell a story. If I see somebody's code, I should be able to read the story.
Of course, yeah.
It's always a story. There's something happening in life of people. It's never just code. You said the admin cert you failed. So is it hard, or does your development background actually help you with the admin certification?
Actually, it didn't. Yeah, my development background did not help with the admin certification. I come from a coding background because I graduated from computer engineering, and I thought I should just become a developer on Salesforce, and I learned Apex, and I learned triggers, and I was able to write Apex code and able to do triggers, but the admin certification I failed. It's because it's not related to that. You have to understand the Salesforce platform itself. It has a lot of aspects, and in my point of view, it's the hardest certification is the admin certification as a start as well, because when you start, you just don't know anything, and you have to learn everything, a little bit about everything. So yeah, it's essential.
But it's not only the admin certification. I mean, we talked about it. You should be able to tell a story. What do you think? Should you understand your users?
Well, understanding your users, okay, it comes with a lot of things, passing a certification or learning a new subject on Salesforce. First you have to practice, okay, and they say practice makes perfect, So there are several ways you could do that. First is super badges. They're tough to crack, but they're very rewarding, because when you finish a super badge, you have the knowledge and you have the confidence, and they are built in a way that gives you a business scenario, and then it's up to you to create a solution. So it kind of prepares you for the real world business problems. Okay. Um, I would also suggest volunteering. You can practice by volunteering to help out in projects. So if you Google volunteer Salesforce experience, you will find organizations that are looking for Salesforce volunteer assistants. If you have the time, apply. It would really add to your resume, and it will add to your experience, and you'll have a strong profile. And then it's easy if you have practiced something in a real business world, okay? Not only studied it theoretically. That way it will stick with you, Another way to boost your skills is that teach something to someone. I mean, it could be done in several ways. You could train your users. You could present about it in your local community group. You could join a study group. So talk to your users. As a developer, I talk to the admins because they are in kind of between me and the users. So, and I always need someone from the admin team on a daily basis, because they understand the business side more than I do, and they understand the users, and they know what the users want. So I read the documentation, but it's better if you talk to someone, human to human contact. It helps more in understanding, and understand the requirements, and whatever works for you, do it, whether it's talking to the admins or talking to the users. Yeah.
This is a good point, this getting in contact with people, because I think admin is as much technical knowledge as is communication skills.
Yeah.
How did you become better in communication skills, or have you been always that good?
Uh, no, I haven't. When the communication skills, it's the Trailblazer community actually that helped me with that. Being the leader of the Cairo developers group and organizing meetings, talking to getting to talk to speakers so that they will speak at your group.
Don't get me started. It's hard sales work. You learn about sales if you run a user group. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yes, you learn.
Yeah, and the advertisements.
Yes, yeah, and marketing and project management. No,
About sales, about marketing, about everything.
no, I mean that serious. A year ago, I thought about running my own study group, also my own the SIMA group, and I asked a couple of people who run already study community groups. They all told me the same. It's a great experience to run something. You learn so much about it, and this is true.
Of course,
You
yeah,
become
yeah.
nervous the day of the event. Will the speakers show up? Will the technique work?
Yes. Will my internet connection break?
Yes.
Yeah. At first it was I wasn't that good, it was just very simple, and I was trying out things, and it was maybe less than 10 attendees in the meetings. But then after that, it became easier. It became better. More people joined the group. Now we have currently over 100 members in the Cairo
Really?
Developers Group. Yeah, yeah. I gained a lot of certifications after becoming a community group leader. I also landed my first full-time job as a Salesforce developer after becoming a community group leader. So before becoming a community group leader, I was just a freelance developer, Salesforce developer. So it wasn't very, very stable. I was trying to get a full-time job, but there was no good opportunities. But after that, a lot of opportunities opened up. So it doesn't just enhance your communication skills, it enhances everything. It's your technical skills as well. You attend meetings, you get to know about Salesforce products, you learn from experts, you make friends. I made a lot of friends actually on the Salesforce ecosystem. So yeah, I recommend everyone to attend their local community group meetings. And if there's not a local community group in your area, then just start one, you know?
Absolutely. And maybe this is the call out to all the developers out there. Start a local community which is called Developers for Admins, where you bring your admins and developers together.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I mean, I have been joining a lot of community groups over the last couple of months, and since the situation, and I really like the one community groups where admins and developers both join. These are the best ones.
This is our group in Cairo. It's a mix between admins and developers. It's not very much intended. It's because there was a few number of of members at first, but we discuss both topics. We discuss admin topics and developer topics. So it's for both. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So when I summarize, do your trailheads as always.
Of course, you have to go back to the basics.
And to all people out there, you know what I just do? I go back to my admin basics again. I have to do this. I promise this to myself. Every 2 years, I do the admin basic trailheads. It changes.
Yeah, admin beginner and admin beginner and intermediate,
Yeah. What do you think about marketing videos? Salesforce marketing. I watch a lot of marketing videos because I found them great way to learn about how business thinks.
Actually, someone in my family, they know that I work as a Salesforce developer, and in their curriculum, they were learning that taking an example of marketing, and they were saying Salesforce is very good with marketing. So yeah, I think Salesforce is famous for that. They know how to make their marketing. So I think they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean for your career when, let's say, we have a senior developer or somebody who's even already an architect, technical lead, and now learns about administration? What do you think happens to their career?
I think it excels. Of course, it's an added skill. It's very much needed. And as I said, the jobs, there are admin jobs and there are developer jobs. But the developer, it's both. With developer jobs, you get asked about flows, you get asked about process builder, just like an admin. But also you get asked about code. So yeah, it's very important.
This is something really great. So what can people do tomorrow to get started? What can our developers out there tomorrow? Literally.
Trailhead. Just go straight to Trailhead.
Is
And
is is there a shortcut to success?
uh, I don't think so. Yeah, you have to work for it.
You have to
Yeah,
work.
it's a long road, but it's fun. The thing is, it's fun and it's rewarding at the end. So yeah, you have to take the whole path.
There's no shortcut. There's never a shortcut to success.
Yeah.
No.
Of course.
There's a, a shortcut I would like to add is there start what's fun for you.
Yeah, of course.
Don't
Start
do.
with don't overstress yourself. If you cannot do something, then search for something that you could do. So search for something that you're interested in. If you're an admin and you want to learn code, then start small. Take small pieces. If you're a developer and you want to be a full-grown developer, then you should start with being an admin first. Yeah.
And then once you're an admin, what do you suggest to go further? Maybe some of the people out there already are admins. What is the next certification after the admin you would recommend?
Well, I think the pyramid of the architect, the application architect side is interesting for admins as well, especially the sharing and visibility certification. It's like admin 2.0, and you get to learn security in depth. You get to learn sharing in depth, and you get to also understand the sharing in communities. Now it's called experience cloud. So I think this is the next step for admins.
What do you think about the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud consultant certifications?
They're very important. I think that the sales cloud was also a bit tricky for me when I first gained the certification. So I think, but I think that you should also take the certifications that you are using in your job. Because if you go for a certification and you, for example, took the Service Cloud and your organization is not working with Service Cloud, then maybe after some time you will forget what you have learned. So I suggest if you're working with Sales Cloud in your company, then take the Sales Cloud certification, take the admin certification, take app builder, and maybe developer if you like. If you're working with CPQ, then take the CPQ certification. So in order not to forget what the things that you have learned, you have to apply it in real world.
Yeah, tying back there, somebody told me yesterday. This person is an admin and want to become a better admin. So this person asked their son, "What do you like me to build in Salesforce?" And the son said, "I want to have a fire station." So this person said, "Yes, great, let's build a fire station." So we have accounts, which are the fire station. Then the son said, "Oh, I also need trucks." Of course, a fire station has trucks.
Yeah.
So now they have the assets as the trucks. Then they also need, of course, the fire person, the fireman and firewoman, which are the contacts. And contacts. And of course, there's a fire burning, so they need field set.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
we have our people who live in the area, so they have also an experience cloud now on top of that. So take whatever you think is interesting for you and build it as an admin. Make it a challenge. Don't code.
Of course. Yeah. I think it's you should go for simpler things first, and it's not it's not very simple flows. I think
No.
I Yeah, but some flows you open and then you just close them again. It's not very simple, but it's rewarding. You know, I think flows also are the future. Everything will be automated, I think. So and they are enhancing it every day. So yeah.
I think this is a personal opinion. I think flows will replace the trigger. I think in flows plus invocable methods is the future.
Of course, yeah.
It's not
yeah.
replacing Apex itself, but it's replacing the trigger.
It's replacing a lot of things that were done with code, you know.
Yeah, simple code like get all open tasks and change the subject.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Or count the number of open opportunities.
Yeah.
Which was not possible before. Yes, thank you very much for the interview. Is there any last thought? What are you having for lunch today?
I think I will be having steak today.
Oh. Is it because Ramadan is over and you're like, now I'm...
Yeah, it's because this is the first weekend after my new job, okay? And I want to reward myself. And they say the steak here is very nice, so yeah, I'm having steak. And also because with Ramadan over, we eat a lot of meat.
Okay.
And we eat all the time, so yeah.
I have to say, I'm not a Muslim, but I have to say every religion which has something like the sugar fest, how is it called in English? The end of the Ramadan.
It's Eid. Eid, you know, it's called Eid, the end of Ramadan. It's 3 days. They are over now, but I'm still celebrating.
I have to say every religion which is so heavily focused on food, I'm in.
Yeah.
Every religion which says cake is really important to us is come on. How can you argue with a religion who says cake is important?
We have another feast in 2 months.
What,
so,
again?
Yeah. But those are the only 2 feasts in the Muslim religion, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Only twice a year you are like all in on baklava.
Yeah, only twice a year. You should come tell me happy Eid, okay?
Okay, thank you very much for your time. If somebody wants to reach out to you, everybody knows you. I think maybe we forgot to introduce you. You're Farah, you're the famous MVP Golden Hoodie, soon to be CTA. We talked about it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
You are the famous CTA now.
No. No matter. People can reach you on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I guess.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Especially admins. If any developer wants to start an admin, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to show you the ins and outs of fields, page layouts, record types, workflows. I'm a happy admin there. Thanks a lot and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.